Welcome back, everybody, here to game number 2 of our lower bracket final for the European Division qualifier for the DOTA MLG Pro League Season 2 qualification for the X Games in Texas.
Hashtag Road to X Games.
It is. Road's almost there. X Games is only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like 2.5 weeks-ish.
It's a busy month.
It's a crazy month. Absolutely crazy month.
Well, we were talking about this in the little break, and London Conspiracy took their sweet time with that second ban. It's really an impossible ban for them, because it's like, well, do we take out the Chen? Do we ban the Undying? Do we ban the Gyrocopter? What do we leave for ourselves? Vega, though, banned the Chen themselves.
Yeah, I think Vega are going to switch things up now. This is when Vega, again, you play with confidence. You play Russian style. You find yourself gankers. I would look for the Lina. Tusker, would be one of them. The Lina is the first one that comes to mind. The Lion would be another one. Any of these supports which can double as big burst damage heroes, that's what I'm looking for from Vega now. Where London Conspiracy is still very concerned about what Vega can do with the team fight. That's why they had to ban out the Undying. They had to ban out the Queen of Pain. There's the Gyro you're talking about. No reason to pass it. Holy crap. And then you get the DK as well. It's almost impossible for London Conspiracy to kill Vega in the early stages of the game.
Like, that's such a strong opener. You pick Beastmaster as your first pick, fair enough. It gives you vision, it gives you good teamfight lockdown, you can stack Ancients, you can go and, there's lots of things you can do. But Shadow Fiend, okay, that brings them back in. A good matchup against the Dragon Knight, not too bad. You can go, blow for blow. It's not going to be a one-sided matchup there. But the Gyro against BM. Gyrocopter can potentially 1v1 and be self-sustaining down there, depending on his item build. The boars are annoying, the wild axes are, an irritant, but it doesn't lock your support into that lane. So you can see London Conspiracy banning out the Enchantress, making damn sure you're not going to have that roaming jungler.
Oh, they're more worried, I think, about the aggro trial lane of Vega. When you run an Enchantress into the Radiant jungle, and then you put a Gyro +1, just an easy control. It can be a Rubik, it could be whatever you want to, and you just throw them on the bottom lane. You can't run a safe lane. The Beastmaster rotation won't be able to help you at all. Your SF doesn't want to rotate, and the SF will probably be more concerned that the jungle won't be able to be stacked for him, or if he does stack it, it'll end up being taken. And
then Enchantress stealing balls.
Something that says Toby said something.
Radiant team ban.
Oh, okay, I'm just tripping then. I saw something on your feed when you brought it up on the screen, and I was like, Toby said this. I'm like, what the hell? Sorry, my bad. I'm getting very easily distracted. Toby! We hit that time of the night.
Red Bull time. I mean energy drink. Unbranded energy drink time.
Yeah, potentially, like, if some company wishes to personally sponsor me for a beverage, like, I would be open to such things. I could be drinking a Coke right now. It could be a Monster. It could be a Red Bull. It could be a 7-Up. Potentially Gatorade. Like, it could be anything. I don't know.
Team pick.
Let's all just eat out unbranded nacho cheese.
Could be a Foster's.
Foster's. Oh, my lord.
Piss water.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Sewerage. Could you imagine being sponsored by them? Like, you'd actually want to cut out your own tongue.
They do good adverts. In the UK, at least. They do good adverts. But
yeah,
the
advertising doesn't make a good beverage.
No, I was going to say, the drink is still awful.
Well, we've hit this point.
It's like Carlsberg's the same thing. They do good adverts, but it's still awful beer. Shadow Demon for London Conspiracy.
Thank you. That's very
Radiant team.
They could be going for their, old favourites. SD Kunker roaming around. The Shadow Fiend kind of throws the Invoker out the window because you don't want to. Oh wow, okay.
That SD is so screwed. The Brewmaster pickup is interesting because it's a lot of survivability. At the same time, though, you've now just given an open ticket for Vega to go on aggro lane. And the reason I say this because is you're running an SF in mid, a Brewmaster on safe, and a Beastmaster on the off lane. And if this is a Beastmaster support, God help London Conspiracy. Yeah, they ban out the Rubik. They're thinking exactly the same thing I am right now, which is the fact that Vega just want to stick it to him, go down that bottom lane, and they'll use the Witch Doctor and the Gyrocopter to inflict heavy amounts of damage into London Conspiracy.
AA, Skywrath.
Yeah,
there's so many good heroes here for Vega, regardless of aggro try-in or not.
I would actually still just go with the Lina. It seems like a weird kind of thing to say, because like you've
10
only got a paralyzing
seconds
cast as a
remaining.
setup. But I don't think you got a problem with the lineup of London Conspiracy.
Dragon
5
Tail,
seconds
the homing missile.
remaining.
There are a couple of things, but I think Dragon Tail.
I'm
and
just thinking about the
Hookshot-
burst damage because that's the one thing Vega don't
Reserve
have.
time.
You got
Yeah.
Rocket Barrage, but they don't have burst damage as such. You got Breathe Fire as well, Flat Cannon with the speed it comes out, that's fine. But I'm thinking about what's going to be the real kill factor here. And you need something like that up against... Actually, no, the Skywrath Mage is perfect because it's really
Clockwork.
good up against someone like a Brewmaster.
Yeah, and the Clockwork combo's always there.
Yep.
Hookshot, Cogs, Mystic Flare. Okay. What stuns do London Conspiracy have? A Roar? Disruption.
Don't drop this!
Is that Beastmaster support then?
It is.
No, that's Beastmaster offlane. Spartan's a support Brewmaster, apparently. Spartan's their support player. Unless he's their brew player and they're completely switching things up.
Okay, Doka, can you think about what's going through my head right now? It's a topic which we've already previously discussed.
Prepare.
What do you think is my problem with this draft from LC?
There's too much candy floss and you're feeling really happy and there's fairies flying around and there's lots of positivity. Oh no, sorry, it's opposite day.
I'm looking at Vegas lineup compared to London Conspiracy, and I'm seeing London Conspiracy with a huge amount of needed farm, a huge amount of required farm to make their heroes useful. They need time for levels, and they need time to make money. And I look at Vega, and I think, I even care if Solo dies right now. Like, he could die all he wants to. It will not matter. First Blood gets to go the way of SF. Whoopity doo-dah. He'll have himself a very early
Oh
model.
no, that's great.
Um,
He went souls first.
What? Oh, what?
That's a big deal.
Oh my! Wait, they changed it, didn't they, too? So he's actually
yes.
up instantly to 12 souls.
Yep.
Okay, now that's okay. That's actually very, very good that you got the first blood. I can take it back a little bit. That was actually bad for Enigma to defeat it. But Enigma's going to make back so much money.
Yeah, his death doesn't matter, but the kill for SF does. The
Yes.
ward here is, you know... slow him.
Vega can basically... Okay, so we can start this with a 300 gold advantage going the way of LC and a huge soul advantage going the way of the Shadow Fiend. Absolutely terrific. Why am I bring up that menu? But the Enigma will just sit in the jungle, farm up, and he will outstrip the economy of LC. And LC cannot do anything to really combat that. Like, they're going to run a dual offlane of the SD as well as the Viper, but this is up against a Gyro as well as a Witch Doctor. If you're looking for the ability to kill somebody, Vega's got it in absolute spades. The control factor's there for us. Actually running an aggro trial lane with the Brewmaster. Okay, they might get a Drunken Clap and kill off the Gyrocopter, but I'm still concerned that they can't move into the jungle and stop the Enigma from farming. Mag is going to find his level 6 on this bottom lane. It's just an even matchup. The SF is actually going to completely outstrip the DK for the first part. But when Breathe Fire comes up, then it's still a very even matchup. And Vega want this game to go 10 minutes without too many kills. If they can achieve that, I think they've won this game.
Well, LC are doing what we mentioned in the draft. You know, or did we mention it in the break? I can't remember, but I was basically saying that they've got one of two options. Either they try and out-farm Vega and beat them, you know, economically, or they go and contest the farm that Vega get in the jungle, because they're so good at utilizing the jungle. Right now, they definitely are contesting. Not as aggressively as they possibly could. They're stopping the Witch Doctor from getting big stacks and pulls off. Pasha, yes, farming away up on top lane, but last hit wise, 3 for 0, not doing an excellent job.
They're not stopping the Enigma. This is again, like, it's Solo coming in with uncontested farm. So far, I haven't seen London Conspiracy basically walk past this line. If they walk past this line on bottom, and then actually try and aggressively move up and contest, that's great. But their Observer Ward currently they planted is blocking the camp of the Enigma. Now, Enigma isn't showing himself at all. And Enigma is actually normally very happy just with one camp. He can keep farming quite nicely with the one camp. But the fact he's actually got 2, double damage rune 2, he can go to work with these guys, and he keeps getting good camps. He keeps getting Alpha Wolf camps, which are the easiest ones to mop up for an Enigma, because you just convert the big Alpha Wolf.
Yeah.
And now even Mud Golems can be converted. This was actually an original bug when they changed the Mud Golems, that you were unable to do that. You couldn't convert Mud Golems, and this has been reworked now, so you can. So Enigma is actually even better as a jungler now because of these changes. And he was already a terrific jungler. Like, we're 2.5 minutes in, he's 3.5 levels.
Yeah, it's anyone that love to go into the jungle and try and flash farm. Mud golems were always the bane of them, you know. You'd always see like, oh, bloody mud golems once again. But now people love them. It used to be only lifestealer pretty much that would enjoy mud golems now. Like, okay, yeah, they've got decent HP. I'm going to go in there and take them out. Now anyone with magic damage does it.
Brewmaster missing the timing here. He reveals the fact that they've got all three of them in the tree line. Also, she's waiting for the range crew to attack the SD, who's currently chopping his little path of freedom. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have enough trees to cut all the way through and get a disruption off. And in fact, now he's going to be attacked by Seema, and even paralyzing Cast. So if they're even thinking about getting, he even bounces back up to him. Like, that SD, just everything is just wrong for LC on this top lane. And I'm not feeling the power of the support Brewmaster.
So what's the trade-off here? Because bot lane is a complete one. Beastmaster and the Clockwork, they're going 1-for-1 pretty much.
But this is so much better for a Clockwork, because Clockwork's just going to rotate into the top lane when they're ready, hookshot in and split up the entire fight, where the Beastmaster is still just a raw.
Yeah. But then mid lane, no one is getting crushed. Shadowfiend 21 for 10 against the 9-0 of DK. That's a lane that London Conspiracy are winning hands down. So they're moving the Enigma in for a level 1 Malefice.
He's right on the edge. He needs Kisa to move up even further.
Stop him getting top rune, maybe?
He caught a glimpse of him. I think he actually caught a glimpse of him for a moment.
Spartan, what are you doing?
That's okay for him to move up the way he is. He's got boots as well as like 2 points up in clap. So it's actually a really nice combination with the damage they've got, and the slow combination's really nice. So I can understand the thought process behind LC doing this.
Everyone's moving top.
The issue is actually getting the combination off. It's not just moving top, it's Malediction on the Viper. He's already too low, and it's a haste rune onto the DK. So he'll just walk up, breathe fire, kills off one. The Gyro might die, but also with the Midnight Pulse, they're losing so much life. The Malefice onto the Brewmaster. DK, he can bottle up quickly. He's got a Dragon Tail stun up in 2 seconds time. He's trying to slow down the Brewmaster so they can stay in close on him. There goes Dragon Tail stun. Then with the Paralyzing Cast, stay in front of him. There's not enough mana for a Breathe Fire and they're too deep. Viper will arrive, he can chase after Seema. Solo forced to use his mana for the Malefice stun, and in fact a Spartan chasing after no one. He's got Breathe Fire in a moment, a little bit too much of a moment. He's got Dragon Tail stun in 4 seconds. They can turn here. He can turn here. He's not going to though.
Spartan had 8 stick charges, so he's getting ready to get there for a clap, but his teammates just a little bit too far away. Shadowfiend not reacting, but was pushing out his own lane, and Gyro, how did that happen?
The beautiful thing of Rocket Barrage and a Viper unable to get away in time.
Okay.
It's going to be my thing. I saw the end of it happen.
Neither Mag nor Skylark actually TP top.
Yeah. Well, Mag kind of didn't want to straight away, because I don't think he was level 6 before when that fight started off. So it didn't make a lot of sense for him. Now he is level 6. Mag's happy as Larry. In fact, they're going to use Mag's hookshot to initiate down onto Skylark. They needed to move out to the side, which is exactly what he did. Lock him in the cogs, paralyzing his cast up with the Malediction, and Skylark is dead to the world. And this will be a level 6, almost level 7 Beastmaster dropping. So really good levels for the Witch Doctor as well as the Clockwork.
And then Clockwork with a bottle gets bot rune. That's something that we haven't really touched on. Vega's rune control so far. I think Shadowfiend has managed to get 1 rune. He's got a bounty. You know, he's not been doing too great. DK has always been getting top, Clockwork bot. They've had Enigma and Witch Doctor both rotating for runes as well. So Shadowfiend has basically been sitting mid and pushing out this wave as hard as he can.
Looks like LC are going to try and make something out of something on the top lane, as they get a 3-man smoke up behind the tier 1 town. The Beastmaster in with them. So they're going to go into the jungle or the mid lane. Unfortunately for them, oh my.
Hello,
look at Seema. He's just at the perfect position. Throw the cask out and he can get away.
He was caught off guard.
Just let him die. You 3-man smoke commit to this one. He's got no restoration. Use the 1 charges. The Malefice Sun's going to come in from solo with the army conversions. So they're not going to get any deeper inside the jungle. But you just lost a Witch Doctor for a 3-man smoke up.
Yeah, wild Gyrocopter goes 1-on-1 at top lane against the Viper. Not the best matchup, but with Flak Cannon level 3, he's actually zoning the Viper.
Attempted denial. Nice roar from Skylark. He's going to get the kill over on the Enigma. They really needed something like this. You bring down the tier 1 tower, you get the kill over on the Enigma, and more importantly, your SS becoming a formidable opponent. Like, I know we're still talking about the fact that Vega's getting a lot of like critical timings on their heroes, and the positioning for them just seems to be right, but it's still 4-4, and the SF is so far above that of Vega's mid. Like, the DK is 2.3k net worth. It's another 2,000 net worth before you reach the Shadow Fiend.
Spartan, bot lane. He doesn't have ulti. He's got 3 stick charges, so should be fine for now as the board slows him down. And there's no mana or cooldown for a stun to throw out. Spartan on the Brewmaster, though, he's somehow hit level 5.
No!
Oh, yeah. Skanks, Shadow Demon, what are you doing?
He's dead. It's like
He's
turns on. Go with all the illusions quickly and take out the SD.
How does the dynamic of the game change once Kiza has mech on the Shadow Fiend, once Brewmaster has level 6?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Do they start pushing into towers? Because Primal Split is still going to be a potent.
I would be really worried about pushing into towers, even with like, okay, yeah, with no Primal Split it's already bad, but you got a call down from a gyrocopter and a 4-level flat cannon.
And then Black Hole and Hookshot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and Midnight Pulse as well. Like, you want to try to start walking heroes into the middle of that with Witch Doctor throwing out Paralyzing Cast. The team fight for Vega is too strong.
Yeah, Vega have gone 180. They've gone from heavy pushing power to heavy tower defending power. Like, also the threat that they've got from these ultis does deter people from defending their own.
I would have actually really preferred to see SF with something more like a Yule Scepter. If they could find the initial pickoffs on Vega, you could take away their team fight power. Now, well, okay, Hookshot's not right. The cooldown is a perfect position. In comes your Black Hole. SD and Viper caught out. They're going to drop quickly. The SF did come in from behind with that nice little Requiem of Souls. They course a 2-for-1 trade up. Brewmaster, he's trying to split, but he cannot do it. The Battery Assault does the work. The DK does get picked off by the SFs. There's 2 kills for him now. Goes for Raze at number 1, the Paralyzing Cask.
Oh,
the ball! He actually isolated him out to the Paralyzing Cask. Stops him from getting the final killing blow.
Lifting his arm for the raise, like, I got ya, got ya. Oh god, I'm stunned up by this damn boar. That's just a comedy of, not even errors, just misfortune for London Conspiracy as the Brewmaster hit level 6. Finally, I can use a Primal Split in a massive team fight and cause havoc and chaos and get stunned up by Battery Assault and get stuck in the cogs and not do anything at all. That could have been awesome for London Conspiracy. They could have gone, 4 kills ahead, completely dominated Vega as they pushed into tier 1, but instead they expend all of their ultimates bar the Primal Split. Vega sure bust all of theirs. They've got cooldown remaining though.
Yeah. You got Dragon Form, so you can still keep pushing out buildings. This kind of stuff though isn't that great. Cooldown's up, and DK, well, he wants to just try and run himself out this one. The cooldown will give him the space to do so. Still suffering from his own corrosive wrath, which shouldn't really be effective on him, but is.
Wait.
You get away.
Hang on a second.
What am I holding on for?
Check Viper's items. He's going for mech. He's actually going to get hookshotted actually down a bot lane. In comes Pasha. Yeah, that's enough. Stick charges are not going to save you. The Battery Assault is ripping through his HP. But yeah, Viper and Shadow Fiend are both going for mech, Toby.
No, that can't be right. That cannot be right. Let's see.
I triple checked. Toby, I thought the same thing. I triple checked. Like, okay, like before the 6.84C, I could let it go and say, okay, well, you can use your mech.
Let it go! Let it go!
You can use your
can't mech it up anymore!
Because there was like a 20-second period of time where you use mech, people can't be effective, and then it comes off cooldown.
This could be good for LC. This could be really good for LC. The Broom could be really good. Oh, it's just it's brutal. It's so brutal. He didn't even try and clap. He didn't even try. He had to actually split from inside the trees if he was going to get that one off.
This is the period of time where, depending on what kind of human being you are, you slam your fist on the table, or you slam your keyboard on your knee, or you just put your head in your hands and go, why? Why me?
You know okay. When I was in year 12, just before I was going to graduate high school, they did these life courses of what you do when you get out in the real world. And you try and work out what type of personality, what type of person do you want to be. And they gave us the example of if you saw a guy who was just riding along on a bike and he falls off his bike and like breaks a leg kind of thing, like bone sticking out the leg kind of thing. What is your reaction? Is your first reaction vomit and just run away? Is it call the police or ambulance and just help him out as much as you can? Or do you laugh your ass off? And right now, I'm looking at LC and I feel like I'm in the same situation with the same decision. I feel like they've just snapped their leg open. And I don't know what reaction I kind of want to have at the moment. Because It's getting to the point where you laugh so you don't cry, because it's just so unfortunate. These situations they keep finding themselves in.
Like, okay, they're not playing perfectly, but they're not playing badly.
Yeah.
They're just getting really unlucky.
Here comes Viper. The TPs are coming in. He's already going to die. And, well, call down. Turn around, Jara. You're leaving your teammates for death. They're battling underneath the tower. The SD is in there, but he actually also drops, and Seema turns on the Death Ward, and he's bringing down the SF almost solo with the conversion army that was there. They were fighting underneath the Midnight Pulse. At least Beastmaster is fighting to the end, but the end is not far away from him. The Axis, he finds the kill, but Solo, as well as Pasha, stick around. Seema gets himself a double kill with the Malediction triggering off. The Brewmaster, well, his ulti is expended after all of this, and he is on the run. There's no mana for the Gyrocopter to use. He's going to juke it around the tree lines, and now it's Vega who's overstaying their welcome. Viper will come in, Solo will die here, and Pasha just has to leave him for death. There's nothing more that will come of this.
Well, that's a 4 for 4.
That's actually a really good trade for LC, considering how far behind they were.
And they defended their tier 1 tower.
Yep. That was the best thing that I've seen happen to them for this entire game.
The clutch moment, though, was the Brewmaster sending the Enigma up into the air. He just had used Soul Ring, had just enough mana to use Black Hole, was walking in slowly but surely, then Cyclone up in the air. Black Hole could have caught 2 or 3 and completely wiped London Conspiracy without any chance of turnaround. But Vega this time, it's their turn to get a little bit unfortunate in this team fight. They still do have Clockwork level 9 and nearly having a 4 staff. The DK, what actual progression in items are we seeing from him? He's had a rough start, and it shows in his itemization. Shreds Embracer with bottle and 1.
In this game, he should just look to go in for the tanky arms, let him push his 5. Vega know their team fight is still far superior. That was kind of weird for Vega, because they didn't look like they wanted to commit. Like, the movement from Pasha, I think, is just the perfect flag for this fight didn't work. Like, he was moving himself back up to here before the rest of his teammates must have screamed at him, and he then turned himself around to come back to the tower. If he dropped that call down almost instantly, they would have actually been able to mop up a couple of the other LC heroes before the fight really began. But again, we see this moment. Like, Vega did this almost exact same thing on the top lane.
Yeah.
The fight ended up being fairly even, and then they just come in again, and then they take the tower directly after.
They use a couple of ultimates, and it's like, okay, well, we've either won the team fight, broken even, we still get the tower, but then the fact that previously they had 2 ultimates left, the Gyro and the Quanticulty, I believe, they still push through, but just because the deterrent, the fact that they have these ultimates available is kind of scary for LC to walk into. But right now, they have all their ultimates up. DK pops his Dragon Form, but London Conspiracy can't walk in here. They can't walk into a black hole.
Yep. If they do, they die. Like, it really is that simple. If they try and contest this, they die. They're too late to just jump in and try and contest Roshan, because that Midnight Pulse, you got no Blink Dagger on a Brewmaster. That's why there's no jump in anyway. And they can see the Brew walking up high, and you got Nagus Immortal. Hookshot up, the Brewmaster will be controlled. He does have Split available, but not up against Battery Assault. Now you call down. Viper and SD to be caught by this. The defensive disruption will be able to save the Viper for a little bit longer, but then the illusions work against him, allowing Seema to manipulate the paralyzing cast perfectly. The SD is going to drop, and the SF's on the run. Maleficus is slowing him down enough. They can go for another homing missile if they want to, but it will sacrifice too much mana, hence he's just running it in, and then we'll go for the Rocket Barrage with Phase Boost, which he can activate now. He'll have enough movement speed to keep up with him. They force stuff up for the secondary Maleficus with the Midnight Pulse. They're ensuring enough damage to kill off the SF, then the movement can come into the Beastmaster. The Roar will be able to help bring down the Enigma, but can they get out of this one? Vega are kind of in a little bit too deep, and yeah, they're mass TPing out of this. They're going to see a couple, but where are your stuns? Disruption's all you've really got. There's a 4-star off cooldown for Mag.
4-star on the high ground, TP out. It doesn't even need a TP.
He can walk it.
That's a good escape, though. Hiding in the fog so they couldn't disrupt or get any stuns out. The Primal Split was saved by the Brewmaster. He didn't get a chance.
I don't think it was saved. It was, again, Battery Assault controlled.
Well, yeah, in the original fight, but I mean, he was sitting up on the high ground near the bot tier 2 and walking into the rest of them, but he could have popped it and gone aggressive, but he held onto it knowing that he was never going to be able to cast any spells on anyone. Saving it for a rainy day.
It's just so cruel. Pasha walks in, turns on a flat cannon, attacks him a couple of times, and drops the Brewmaster below 50% of his life. And then no one arrives, and he knows that the DK could have Dragon Form, switch into it, and just Dragon Tail on him, and then the Brewmaster is dead. Or he has to use his split defensively, and that'll be worse.
Just watch Solo's positioning, though. He's going to be sitting in the midst of things saying, okay, if you want to initiate onto any of my core heroes, onto any of my heroes in general, I'm here for the black hole. I'm here for the mech. He's not playing that sneaky, you know, wait in the wings, offset from the rest of his team, and then counter-initiate with black hole. He's not playing the overly aggressive Enigma where he's, you know, posturing and saying, hey, I've got a black hole, getting ready to actually go in on people. He is in the middle of 3 or 4 heroes, just ready, waiting.
Dire's bottom
Look at
tower
how
is
clubbed
under
they
attack.
are. Imagine if London Conspiracy had a blink on Brewmaster. Blink, clap, ult into 4.
It would be wonderful, but
But then he gets stunned, controlled, and dead.
the Brewmaster has never had anything in this game. Shadow Fiend will at least be able to take out the tier 1 tower on bottom. And with Shadow Poison and the boss, they're just trying to manipulate the creep wave to try and slow it down and kill it off. Vega was doing the same thing with the Midnight Pulse, removing as much life as possible and forcing LC to defend from their tier 3 tower. Now the TP's come out. Brewmaster's going to be too late for that one. Solo could get caught out here. He's going to run east, and that's going to go into the SF. But there's no vision. Okay, actually, yeah, there is vision.
Wind it up.
What's Mag? He can't get Mag. Like, he actually can't kill Mag unless Mag is standing literally on top of him when he goes for the Requiem. Then he could kill Mag. Actually, even then I question it. Is that enough damage to get through that much life of clock?
If he's literally on top of him, like with the Yule's combo, probably. I'm not sure how much damage level 2 Requiem does.
I'm actually not sure it's enough. Math is not my strong suit. Oh, Skylark able to find the Enigma out of position, but then welcome to the hook shot. Mag is locked in there with a couple of extra minions, which he wasn't really planning on, with a flight cannon and then a quick paralyzing cast. The minions time out, unless that was the flight cannon that killed them. Either way. Beastmaster for the Enigma. It's an okay trade. They're similar net worth. In fact, the Enigma is behind him for that trade-off. So yeah, there is a little bit more coming in for Vega.
I think if Shadow Fiend is directly on top of Clockwork, it does like 1600 damage or something in that region, 1620.
Okay.
I did in my brain maths, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's enough.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Like he seems tanky, and with a point booster getting close, but Requiem does a ridiculous amount of damage. Plus the like multiple instances out there, but it's close.
A much needed BKB has now arrived in for Kisa. So you'll have to TP in and become part of this fight almost instantly. The Brewmaster's getting ready to go. And then Rocket, Hookshot, Battery Assault. Defensive Disruption will be there, and this will actually allow the Brewmaster. Oh, okay. Okay, to get his split off was going to be my last point of that phrase, but obviously not. SF walking away. The BKB doesn't protect you from that Death Ward, and now Brewmaster just buys back in. Wants to try and fight. The Clockwork did die. But the creep wave's getting taken away by the Gyrocopter, and there's no way for LC to really chase it. So this buyback's not worth it now.
See, now what is the Viper's goal here? Because he stopped the mech, realizing Shadow Fiend has one. Picked up a point booster and looks like he's heading into Aghanim Scepter. But his only actual use in his team fight is kiting people. But if they're swarming as 5 and grouping up with their big ultimates, who is he kiting?
He doesn't kite anybody. He actually, because it's not even a jump in here which you can stop from retreating. Because there's no Blink Dagger heroes. The Enigma's going to be it soon, but it doesn't really do much. So this is the kind of situation where you can chase after him. But where is this Gyrocopter in the cooldown? He's going to come in from the rear. There's your cooldown in the perfect position. Unfortunately for the Gyro, he's been disrupted up, so he can't be involved in this. No one will end up dropping down. The flight cannon damage isn't enough. And Solo's in the run out here. He's already used the mech, buys up his Blink Dagger, and steal a bounty, but the Earth Drilling Stun will get his stun off and Solo will end up dying. And the hook shot, wow, okay. Nice little jump in by Mag. Gets some kind of collateral out from this. Defensive cogs is pretty much required here, or else the... Okay, no, it's not. They're not going to chase him hard enough for it. He's either going to find himself a regeneration rune. How nice.
Pasha has his own dedicated courier now, apparently.
I'm guessing it was a misclick.
There's one in the base, and then there's one at the tip.
It's a misclick. They mustn't have like intended to buy that many couriers. I don't know if they've had that since the first time, because I haven't seen 2.
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, it does seem a little weird, though, that would be the case.
But yeah, they're close to these Ancients. They've got BKB, Helm of the Dominator on Pasha now. Heading into his Yasha. Pasha Yasha. But what are the big items for LC? You know, they've got Necro 3 over on the Beastmaster. Spartan on the Brew. He's getting closer to Blink. He's not too far away. 22 minutes in, and he's 650 gold off. It's the Viper I'm worried about. Shadow Fiend is fine. Can go into a Blink Dagger or Guardy, whatever he wants to do next.
I like how even when you disrupt the Clockwork, the Battery Assault still keeps coming out.
Yeah.
He's going to force stuff over the Ancients, but Skylark's with him. They'll have to commit the Roar if they want to try and find this kill, but at the same time, Mag's pretty tanky. He's going to try and TP out unsuccessfully. So he'll end up dropping.
If the neutrals had killed him there, that's like nail in the coffin for any kind of mentality that LC have left. But what else could go wrong?
I'm actually looking over towards the SF, and I'm wondering... Okay, so we look at the Viper. He's going tanky, he's going control. Viper Strike, whoopity-doo-dah. The Brewmaster is control, once again. If he can get a Blink Dagger, then also terrific. He's going to be a lot more useful, and the Clap can then get some extra damage. But this SF's missing out on so much damage.
Yeah.
They need to be able to make more out of him. The cooldown's coming in right now. Solo, keep moving back. They've managed to isolate the Brewmaster 2 seconds before he had to split back off cooldown. Now the SD into your Black Hole on 2. He already did the work with that Death Ward from the Witch Doctor, and now they can just try and isolate this Shadow Fiend. And look at the Viper! He's attacking the Gyrocopter, who doesn't even care. It's water off a Duck's back at the moment. A new homing missile's going to chase him down as well. So he might reach the tier 2 tower, but he'll die shortly after. Because Pasha, he's got Rocket Barrage available, turns on the flat cannon. In fact, actually not even going to worry about that. They just looked at the tier 2 tower. The damage is just missing from LC. That's the primary problem. I almost want to see this SF buy Crystallis or a Desolator.
Yeah.
I actually think that's his only options. There's no other choice for him. He's never going to get a bigger item than this. If you get a Manta as too defensive, then LC just don't have damage. They might survive an extra 5-10 minutes in this game, but with pickoffs like this, that may just be 5 minutes, not 10 minutes.
Oh, he's a TP, accepts his fate and falls to the ground. I don't know where the Shadow Fiend goes. In situations like this, sometimes you see that last-ditch desperation attempt and you buy a Mask of Madness just to increase your damage output a little bit more.
You can't do that in these fights.
Exactly, he cannot do it because of flat cannon mainly, but also the amount of spill damage from Vega. You saw how long the Witch Doctor lasted in that fight though. He was 1 versus 2, he managed to cask, he managed to maledict, he managed to Death Ward, and the Black Hole came a little bit late. He could have survived, but in the end, the trade-off there is London Conspiracy losing out massively. Roshan's respawning in about a minute's time, so Vega are going to look to hold down on their lanes, push them out as hard as they can, and force LC to defend while they take Roshan and control their jungle.
I love this kind of build when it comes in from Pasha. To get the SMY, it's normally a pretty great item when you get it earlier on before like your BKB. But he wanted to have the immunity coming into the fights, and then realizes this game, there's no way Vega wanted to go beyond 40 minutes. So the SMY is a perfectly legitimate item to pick up at this point. It gives you your early presence you're hoping for. Now, this SF has no Yule Scepter, so he can't set up, and the Viper's not in range to go for the Viper Strike. So Pasha just TP's out to safety.
Does Kiza turn this Yasha into an SNY or a Manta style? Because you touched on the Manta, and I agree, it's defensive.
Well, it's going to be an SMY by the looks of it anyway, because he's got the Ogre Club.
Yeah, good. I like that.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing a point to the Mana style.
No.
All you do would be feeding Paralyzing Cask.
Like
Dragon Tail's going to stun you anyway. You won't keep your illusions up because of the spill damage from the DK, or the Midnight Pulse, or the cooldown, which doesn't care how many illusions you got.
There is one reason only to actually go Manta style in this game, and that's Battery Assault. I guess you could try and get out of Cogs, but that's almost impossible. But it's just Battery Assault, give more targets to it, but the cons far outweigh the pros.
Solo, what are you doing, Solo?
He's getting bashed by Roshan.
He actually didn't have to die, it didn't have to be this way. He's going to make up inside the pit. The Observer Ward saw him coming in. There's an Observer Ward on this cliff top.
They're going for this?
Oh, they got to. It's the only way in. Enigma, have you got buyback? No, he doesn't. He's short by 200 gold.
Does it matter?
I don't think so. They can call down in. Mag just got an Ag in him just before the fight begins. So here comes your call down. He sees Kisa at the end, so he can hook shot in. And in fact, they just go for the fights. SF, he's got the Aegis more, but that Requiem's nowhere near anyone apart from Mag to do some damage. He'll survive as long as the Ancients don't end up killing him off. And the Cogs are buying the space for that when the Broodlings are actually chasing him down. But the SF's going to burn the Aegis, the Immortal. Mag is still alive, and Hookshot is available for him. Spartan searching for him with the clubs, but the battle's still happening down the river, where Kisa's copping Rocket Barrage damage. Flag Cannon's off cooldown in 3 seconds time again. We've even got another Rocket Barrage in a moment, and Dragon Knight, he gets a double kill after death as well, killing off the SD with the last attack, which was flying through. So finally Clockwork was called out by the Brewmaster.
And then Solo comes in. Guys, I'm smoked, I'm ready, I've got the Black Hole, but there's no one left to kill.
Okay, so the way that started,
Clockwork, I don't understand the reason he didn't hookshot into the pit. Rocket, hookshot, catch the Shadow Fiend.
Because I think they realized that at the end of the day, like, yeah, you could have caught out the SF, but you felt like you could deal with the SF. So you want to take out all the control factors beforehand. They want to stop the Brewmaster split before. So you have the fight out here where there's 3 heroes where you can isolate them, knowing that your damage source is in here finishing Roshan. So you can take out these heroes without taking a lot of damage, and then you move on to the SF. At least I believe that's the logic Vega were looking for.
Well, that's a good job by LC. They were sort of dipping in and out of this little fog area around the Roche pit. You saw the Shadow Demon and the Shadow Fiend both running back and forth through there. It's like, how did that trade actually end though? Because it seemed pretty even. If I guess you take into fact that Aegis the Immortal and Vega come out on top, they.
It's because Vega was also so far in front that the swing will go the way of LC.
Yeah. And then Enigma wasn't there. So it was a 4 versus 5 fight. And
well,
even
he died at the start of it, so yeah. But he didn't have to. That was the stupidest thing in the world, though. Like, you look at it, and he walked into the pit. Now, he had vision from the ward, which is on the higher ground, so he ended up seeing, at the time he walked into Roshan, 3 heroes here, here, and here. So this is what he saw. And he walks into the pit. Blink Dagger is off cooldown. I'm looking at him. His Blink Dagger's off cooldown. And he walks up to Roshan. And Roshan then first hit, stuns him, and attacks him.
Of course. That's the way of the game.
Which means that his Blink Dagger goes on cooldown. Now on the top, there's your hole! 4 in a boys! And with the paralyzing cards into the Death Ward and the Frost Dragon. It is one icy funeral for LC on the top river. Wow. Solo. Don't care if you're not there for the last fight, but when he's there, oh, hell breaks loose for LC.
That was like the calmest thing ever. 3 heroes on the cliff looking down at the beautiful view. Oh, look at that gorgeous river. There's so much wildlife, the birds and the fish, they're everywhere. And then all of a sudden, Solo comes in with a black hole. That started from nothing and turned into basically a team wipe.
Yep. And now we'll see how buybacks come out. That was the only one that LC has. So they will not be back at full strength for 25 seconds. And there's no tier 2 towers this time around. So if they do go, they go the whole way. Brewmaster just instantly jumps in with the split. The Midnight Pulse there. Nice ulti from SF. DK not looking too healthy, but then the Voodoo Restoration going to work with the call down and the Rocket Barrage. I think this is over, man. The Brewmaster's lost his Fire Brilling, so he's got no damage. They get rid of the Storm Brilling as well. They've almost taken out the Earth Brilling. If they get one more attack, they actually kill him before he comes back into a normal self. The TP got cancelled. So what did you even lose here? Did they actually lose?
No, they lost nothing. They dropped very low, raw now onto no one, but not gonna lose anything here either. No one's gonna die.
Yeah, they just take out the conversions. Partial will take the damage to that, and then a hookshot in from Mag. Isolates the Viper. Solo jumps in deeper with the Midnight Pulse, but they've just taken out the top racks, as well as LC multiple times over. And Vega have just looked so superior tonight.
No, they had stick charges, they had Seaman with level 4 Voodoo Restoration, Mech on Solo, they had so much sustain that Lone Conspiracy, like you said, the Primal Split, he had no Fire Panda left after a couple of seconds. Flat Cannons ripping through everything. Without a raw, like without the entire arsenal of Lone Conspiracy, they cannot fight. They can't go in as like a 3 group.
Yep. It just doesn't work. So because this will lose 2 sets of rags, the DK's also just had an Assault Cuirass arrive. The Gyrocopter can buy his full Monkey King bar, but hasn't arrived yet. And they're just getting the hell out of here. Even hookshotting up to the creep wave, so Mag has a little bit more space. Like, Vega know they've got this game in the bag. One more push when Black Hole's off cooldown in 50 seconds time, you're actually going to have an Aghanim Scepter solo Enigma.
No.
Yep. That is got to be an Aghanim Scepter over on the Enigma. Unless he's building something else, he's coming up to the secret shop.
Octarine Core.
Octarine Core? Okay.
I'd like the Aghanims, but what the hell's he doing here? It's Octarine Core.
You're right, it is. It is. It just would have been absolutely hilarious seeing an Aghanim Scepter.
Sell the Soul Ring. You don't have enough money. Yes, you do now.
By 4 gold. 4 gold is it. If he did actually take that time, he wouldn't have had enough money.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's an Octarine Core now for the Enigma.
What's that? 25% reduction on cooldown of Black Hole.
Considering that is already... Oh wait, hang on. It automatically adjusts the numbers?
Yeah, it looks like it does.
So we're at 142...
So it was 180 seconds originally, I think?
Yeah, so now it's 142.50. Bottom lane, Gyro said. Let's off the cooldown. And then in comes your Death Ward. Death, but at what cost? In fact, that disruption ends up hurting the Viper even more, allowing the DK to beat into him. So the Viper's now going to end up dropping. Clockwork's still taking a fair chunk of damage here. I think he ended up just killing off a Necrogator by accident. forced up, down, not quick enough. The Brewmaster does jump in, but the Malphite stun. The Black Hole is available here from Solo, but there's no reason to use it. The Dragonite just keeps man-moding into this, and this looks like the last roll of the dice. It's a 3-for-2 trade-off, which is still great for London Conspiracy. But the downside is...
They have no buybacks.
Yeah. And all the lanes are pushing it.
And when a Witch Doctor is going, 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 against some of your tankier heroes, and you can't kill him, and he's forcing you to TP out, he's got a Blink Dagger. He nearly Blink stunned that Beastmaster as he was trying to escape. Shadow Fiend up on top lane, desperately trying to grasp something back. With 2,000 gold in the bank. You've got to look at buybacks and think, okay, Beastmaster, SF, Viper all have it. But what impact do they bring to the table if they do die and buy back Skylark?
And even if they do buy back, at what point do they do it? Because
straight away.
But that's not going to help them. Like, you need Brewmaster up in 12 seconds, no split, so good luck to that. They're going to be fighting up against Megas in a moment. The TPs are on their way in as Viper coming to the front lines. Dragonite very, very low here. They're going to purge up on the Enigma, trying to isolate him so he cannot go for this Black Hole. No one will be dropped at the moment. And Vega into the ulti. It's a Witch Doctor with the Black Hole and the Axe ulti. The damage is done. He actually ends up getting a triple kill for the Witch Doctor. Oh, he almost didn't get that as well.
That's without the Clockwork and the Gyro. They're just going to waltz down middle lane and say, well, you've got, what, 1 buyback, 2 buybacks available? What do you do about our full firepower?
Just TP out and go. Just use your money to win the game.
Oh, DK brought back, okay.
Yep. They could have actually brought back the Enigma as well as the Witch Doctor as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Walks into Necro units. Wait, is that Blink Dagger on the... Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna Blink Dagger Gyro. It's just like the jumping then instantly onto the SD. He's got to get out of here though. Triggers the BKB. The Requiem does come out, but then he just turns into the call down. And ow, okay. Game of Throws is real.
Chrysalis on SF. Don't screw with that.
Yeah. That was the damage output we're looking for from the SF. He can actually buy the full Daedalus.
Arrow drawn down mid, guys. Guys, we have 1 chance. Let's do this.
SF's going YOLO. He's sacrificing his buyback to get the Daedalus, and it's 100% the right decision. They need to win the fights. They're not going to do this without an exorbitant amount of damage. And there's no buyback. Yeah, there's no buyback for the Gyrocopter. Vega, all they got to do is repel this fight, and they're pretty much good to go. we had the Mooseman build over on the Witch Doctor. For those who don't remember, in Warcraft 3, Witch Doctor was actually renamed Mooseman for a short period of time because of this build. It's the Yaganims and Shadowblade together. And they have no stun that can stop this. The reveal from the Necro units is all they've really got, which would be able to stop the Witch Doctor from getting a full duration ulti off.
Black Hole is still on cooldown.
Yeah, for 22 seconds.
Which
means LC cannot go tier 3. They could try Roshan, but
they're getting
damage
out.
up, but yeah.
DK was starting up with the racks. And they were hoping to actually kill him off. They actually find someone? Oh, wow, they did. They found the Viper. Viper's down. He bought back for this engagement, too. This is a real problem. A real problem because, yeah, DK's not leaving the bottom lane. All he's got to do is creep, skip it up a little bit. Mag, hook shotting down. I think it's... Okay, I don't know if it was trying to give him the space or is he thinking someone was still in the trees.
Well, Glyph is popped, so no Glyph for your Ancient. Spartan jumps in, gets stunned up. No one!
He's just doing it sore! Oh, the other guys are smoked up, but they're trying to come in. Control the SF for a bit. His BKB's on cooldown, but in comes the Gyrocopter. The DK may die, but the hook shot in as well. They isolate the Shadow Fiend into a Black Hole with the Death Ward. They've lost the big ones. They've lost them all. The only one that's alive is the SD, but GG well played. Vega will punch their ticket to go to X Games for the DOTA MLG Pro League LAN Finals. We have ourselves the Russians. And what a great team as well. It's nice to see a team playing a push strat, playing a strength strat, and just playing all-round fun Dota and good Dota.
I think this is a team that I think, especially Cap and I, have watched really grow from the days when they were joining, Gigabyte Challenge, MSI Battle. They were, they were a tier 2 team in general, but now they're they're closing in on the gap. The top of the CIS teams. They're, you're gonna say they're close to actual play level as teams like Na'Vi.
Yeah, well then again, Na'Vi has dropped down a long way, but you're right. Like, Vega have always been moving up. They've been these unsung heroes, and it's great to see them now at a LAN final with the chance to compete up against the top teams. I know when we were at the last MLG Pro League, we were always talking about the other teams, like what was BBC going to be able to achieve, what was MVP Phoenix going to be able to achieve as well. Could they go all the way and take out the top teams? And that's when they can come in as the underdog.
Yeah.
Like EG is going to have a huge target painted on their back that they are one of the big teams to beat. Alliance will be looking at them too. People will be preparing for Alliance. They'll be preparing for Virtus Pro. But Vega are one of these teams which could just slip underneath the radar. No one will really be fully prepared for them, and they could get some really, really good results at the LAN.
Also the exposure. Like the exposure for a team like this at a big LAN event is going to be great for them.
And the event.
And the event itself. Meeting people.
Even if you get knocked out early on, you can go watch the Monster Truck Rally. It's X Games, baby. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. All right. Now, thanks for watching, everybody. There's only one more game to be played out for the X Games qualifier, joined at MLG Pro League qualifier. We did it all very, very short this time around because we didn't have a lot of time to do it. X Games is only like 2.5 to 3 weeks away, so these guys can start prepping up their visas. There's one last team to qualify in for the US final. The game will probably be on tomorrow night if things get scheduled that way, but keep your eyes peeled on joindota.com. That's where you'll find all the information for the tournament. You can use the tournaments tab at the top of the page in the navigation, or you can just watch the big-ass countdown on the top right. When that countdown is set, then you'll know when the next game is coming up, and we've got more action coming up for Join Dota tomorrow night. We'll be over on our Join Dota Red channel doing Gigabyte Challenge action for the next 2 days. We'll have the Corsair tournament too, so we've got Southeast Asian Dota coming up on Thursday and on Friday and Saturday. And then we have some other things which will be coming up.
I was going to say, we have other things.
We have a lot of other things. We've got a lot of traveling. I think actually for the next 2 months I'm in Germany for 2 weeks. So a lot of traveling is coming up. I hope you'll enjoy it. Keep your eyes peeled, especially the Join Dota news section. You can find a lot of great stuff over there as always. I think we're going to wrap up for tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone.
See ya.